Hey, Shalom. Before I begin, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Yahweh means he is or he exists, and that is the true name of who the world ignorantly calls God. Bahashem, Ba is in, Ha is the, and Shem is name. And Yahweh Shai, that means he saves or he delivers. That is the name of who the world ignorantly calls JC, Jesus Christ. And again, Bahashem in the name, Rachakodash, that translate to Spirit Holy. So we do the things that we do pertaining to the videos and, just us operating in the Spirit. We give credit to those three entities, separate entities for you Christians out there. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to my teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone were well and teach sound doctrine. And shalom to the hopeful elect. The point of this lesson, I was meditating on this particular precept, thy rod and thy staff comfort me. Because if you don't find comfort, like I've mentioned in many lessons, I will continue to mention, if you don't find comfort in these scriptures, you're not going to put the suffering that you're going through in the proper context. If you don't find comfort and joy in these scriptures, then something else is going to occupy that space in your mind. And the scriptures talk about being all in. Y'all about to know, I'd rather you be cold or hot. If you're lukewarm, you're going to get spewed out of the Lord's mouth. The point being, this brings us joy. This brings us comfort in the midst of the trials and tribulations. So this is Psalms 23:4, straight to the point. It says, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, right? And we apply that valley to here in America because a valley geographically is very, very low. And spiritually, morally, America is very low. That's why Revelation 11:8 is compared to Sodom and Gomorrah. And the valley of the shadow of death, why? Because death is creeping around every corner. This is where we are experiencing the curses for the majority. If you are an Israelite, pursuant to Deuteronomy 28:45, anywhere you go, the curses are going to follow with you. So do not get that misconstrued. But point being, America, because we were sent here on ships and other precepts like the Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom being vexed together. Where else but here in America, the big melting pot? Our life definitely hangs in doubt when you get pulled over. Jake get nervous. You don't even got to get pulled over. You see them lights behind you, it's over. As a so-called black man, Latino man, or native, you can literally get unalived by law enforcement, and there are no repercussions. And the curse is Jake hate each other. So it's constant peril lurking. It's always something, as folks say. Jake say it's always something. But anyways, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. And who is with me? The Lord. He's with me with this book, the volume of this book, pursuing Psalms and the book of Hebrews, where it's reiterated. And 2 or 3 gathered in his name, guess what? In the midst of believers, Yahweh Shai is there. And he sent that comforter so we can, discern between right and wrong. And so we can tap into this word. And that's what the rod and staff is in this particular precept. It's these scriptures. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. I had a precept for that. Back to that Sirach 18. Proving that's talking about America. This is Job 10 and 22. It says, a land of darkness, as darkness itself, and of the shadow of death, without any order. Yes, without any order. This place is Babylon. But Paul breaks down the confusion. You know, a man can be a woman here. You can identify as, you know, all that alphabet nonsense. We ain't gonna go into it because they'll take down the video. But it's a lot of confusion. There's men ruling over women. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's contrary to the scriptures going on here. Plus the oppression and the unaliving of the Israelites. So yeah, this is the valley of the shadow of death. There's nothing but evil going on here. And the light that's being shown forth through the world is the prophets. Doing what? Heralding the kingdom of Yahweh Shai. Introducing people to Yahweh Shai. Well, reintroducing people. It says, without any order and where the light is as darkness. Isaiah 5:19. Woe to them who call evil good and good evil. That happens here a lot in America. And without the rod and staff, and like Revelation 11 again, that reed likened unto a rod, we will be lost and we will be partaking in the folly, right along with the masses. This is Sirach 18 and 13, point is 14. It says, the mercy of man is toward his neighbor, but the mercy of the Lord is upon all flesh. One second. He reproveth and nurtureth and teacheth and bringeth again as a shepherd his flock. So the Lord is going to do that for his elect. You know, just the concept of mercy. You know, everybody's not going to receive mercy. But the Israelites are receiving mercy. Again, we did a lesson on it via his prophets. This grace period provided through the shedding of his son's blood. Don't get it confused. Esau and the other nations, it's just their turn to thrive. But when the Lord comes back and redeems us from the curses, he's going to make us the premier nation and make the other 17 nations our servants and slaves and handmaids. So the flock that went the rough ways pursuant to the book of Baruch, that's us. And he's bringing us back into the fold via these scriptures, via the Comforter, so we can understand the scriptures. All these different captivities and things we went to, that was the reproving. All the different trials and tribulations we go through, that is the reproving of the Lord. And the nurturing to heal our wounds, it's the different facets the Lord gives us of this ministry. The prayer, the fasting, the reading, letting brotherly love continue. You know, exhortation, rebuke. All these things are making us better. They're making us righteous men. These are the righteous acts that we are rehearsing so we can avoid the noise of the archers. Verse 14 is the point. It says, he have mercy on them that receive discipline and that diligently seek after his judgments. So what I wanted to say earlier is the concept of mercy through the prophets, like warning anybody before something happens is mercy, whether something works in your favor or not. At least the Lord didn't just F you up without saying anything. But the Lord is very meticulous because he's sending the mercy via the prophets. But 2/3 of our people aren't listening, and the other nations really don't give a damn. The elites, the leaders know. Why do you think the military and the space stuff is set up the way it is? Because in their mind, they think they can upset prophecy, or they can at least, thrive while they still can. But ultimately, Yahweh Shai is dealing with Israel, and that's it. And the mercy that he's extending to his people The people who have the discipline and the diligence are seeking after, those are the elect. That's who the Lord is going to come back and save via the ships. The scriptures talk about in the book of Isaiah as birds flying. Matter of fact, let's grab it. Isaiah 31:5. As birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. And the Lord in all caps, Yahweh. Lord of hosts is Sabaoth. Pursuant to the prophecies, Daniel 12, 2nd Ezra 13, the Lord is going to come back. He's going to send Yahushua, Michael the archangel, and the rest of the host of heaven via the chariots to come and deliver the elect while simultaneously destroying whatever gets in his path. There's going to be a flawless victory. It's not going to be like one of Esau's action movie where they can come in at the last second and put in some sort of code and try to thwart the plans of the Heavenly Father. Nope. It says, as birds flying, so the Lord of hosts defends. What up, bro? As birds flying, so the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defender also, he will deliver it. And passing over, he will preserve it. So, that's ultimately the mercy that we're looking for. When you ask a Christian, are they saved? They're going to tell you yes. But when you ask them saved from what, they're going to look at you like you crazy. Isaiah 26:20 says, come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers. And this is manifold. The chambers represent these scriptures, and the chambers represent the so-called UFOs, the UAPs. And shut thy doors about thee, and hide thyself, as it were, for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed. So we're going to be in those chariots, Lord willing, watching the destruction from a bird's eye view. But in order to get that protection, you need the scriptures. You need to do the will of Yahweh Shem Yahshua to the best of your ability. So it's just something quick through the spirit this morning as I was on my way to work. Water, Abba, forgive me the spirit to do this lesson. Until next time, Shalom.